Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate. I have a $6 million net worth and cash flow $10,000 net a month. So I had a great question in the comments asking why I do not like investing in triple net properties right now. So let me disclose that with right now. I may pivot in the future, but today I do not invest in triple net and don't like triple net for these reasons. So for me, the pros and cons of triple net is, so the pros, it's a lot more passive, right? So triple net means let's say you own a building, a warehouse, and you rent that out to Amazon. And what's nice about triple net is Amazon will pay the property tax, they'll pay the utilities, they'll pay for the insurance, and on top of that, they're gonna pay you on a per square footage basis. So it could be like $10 per square foot. So if you have 2,000 square foot, just do the math. So it's a lot more passive. So triple net, it's super passive. You don't deal with tenants for the most part, like actual people, tenants, like toilets, and it's really less headache, I would say, compared to what people think. And it's really stable in terms of you have long-term leases, and assuming they're in business. But if they're not in business anymore, then they just could leave, right? And you do have to pay something called TI, which is tenant improvement. So if you have a new tenant, you have to basically give them a lump sum so that they can renovate the building to fit their business need. And typically, if you are vacant, it does take longer to fill these triple net properties, right? So yes, you could buy a property, you have a 20-year lease, but let's say Amazon decides to go to another newer building, then you're now left trying to find a new tenant. And it may take longer, but if you get one, it's going to be a longer lease. So triple net is typically more passive. Triple net is, you still get the tax write-offs of real estate. So from my experience, a lot of people, they typically make money through some sort of more passive or active real estate. So they might have been an apartment investor. They might have been an apartment syndicator. They might have owned a bunch of mobile home parks, a bunch of RV parks. And then when they want to retire later when they're 60. So let's just say, for example, for me, let's just say I buy a bunch of apartments in my 30s and 40s and 50s. And when I hit my 60s, I want to take it a little bit easier. I don't want to deal with, renovations. I don't want to deal with, whatever 200 tenants or 300 tenants or how many units I have. What a lot of people do is they'll sell all their apartments, 1031 exchange it into triple net leases or triple net investments, like owning industrial warehouses, owning retail strip centers, owning big plazas, owning like a Walgreens building, owning a McDonald's building, or whatever that looks like, right? And they'll transfer all that money over there. Do a 1031 exchange, so it's tax-free, and it's more passive, right? This is what Dave Ramsey is pretty known for. He owns a bunch of triple net buildings, but he owns them all cash. That's the caveat. So for me, it just doesn't make sense like right now. I think it may make sense if I have a higher net worth and I've scaled massively and I want to take it easier. But right now, my unfair advantage right now is small apartment complexes in Oklahoma and single family homes in California and Alabama. So I just want to continue to hound on what I have an unfair advantage at. I do not have an unfair advantage in triple net, right? Like my explanation for why I don't invest in triple net right now may vary if I did have an unfair advantage in triple net, and that's what I did initially. And at that point, I would scale around it. So for me, I'm all about scaling what I have an unfair advantage at, right? Because I can make a lot of money owning apartments in Oklahoma. I can make a lot of money owning single family homes in California. I can make a lot of money owning single family homes in Huntsville, Alabama. So why not scale around that? And then once I'm ready to take it easy and not be as active, then maybe I might pivot to triple net investments if it makes sense, right? So, at a high level, I just don't have an unfair advantage in triple net, which is why I don't invest it, to each investor their own, right? Right now, it's not my cup of tea. It doesn't make sense for me, but it may make sense for you if you have an unfair advantage. Like I was looking at, buying a bunch of dollar stores in the Midwest where you could get a dollar store for like, $1 million or under $1 million. And you have a dollar store tenant, which is a national tenant. They have long-term leases, but once the lease is gone, they just can go to another building. And it's not hard to build these dollar stores, right? So that was the fear that I had, was that if they leave, now you're scrambling. And, unless you're buying it all cash like Dave Ramsey, then you're not worried if you don't have a tenant because you own it free and clear anyways, right? But you still have to pay property tax, still have to pay insurance and other repairs, but it's significantly less by having it owned free and clear. So that's why it doesn't really make sense, right? Not a really crazy answer. I just don't have an unfair advantage. I'd rather spend my time, spend my energy scaling what I already am good at and what I have unfair advantage at, and doing that until I hit the point where I want to take it easy, at which point I may pivot. So, once again, that's really my reason for not investing in triple net. Like you said, for me, I just don't like the big vacancies. Like if, yes, I may have had a 5-year lease, but once it's gone, it may take me a while to lease that unit out because it's super niche. And also, the business, if it's not doing well, like during COVID, they just can walk away from their lease. Maybe they didn't personally guarantee it, but they can walk away from their lease. Well, that's the same as apartments. You could just walk away from your lease and before you get evicted. So that's really it. Like from my experience, it's typically triple net are the gray hairs who've made their money somewhere else in apartments, in mobile home parks, and now they're transitioning to triple net leases. Triple net leases is what like big companies, institutional investors invest in, like life insurance companies, like BlackRock, because it's easier, it's more scalable for them to do that. So, I think in one of my way early videos, I did bring on a triple net lease real estate broker, and he was talking about the pros and cons of triple net lease. And I remember the key message I got was most people made their money through apartments or mobile home parks. And then when they're ready to take it easy and be less active, they 1031 exchange all that into triple net investments. So once I heard that, I was like, okay, maybe that's something I'll consider later down the road. Anyways, hopefully this answers your question as to why I do not invest in triple net leases right now. Give you a little bit of background about triple net leases. Obviously I haven't invested in one, haven't bought one, but I did analyze a couple of deals. So I know a little bit because when I sent out my mailers, I did get some retail strip centers and some medical office buildings that had triple net leases. So I was kind of analyzing the deals to see if it made sense. And so that's the experience that I have. Anyways, if you want to buy multifamily real estate with some guidance, check out the mentorship program down below. Otherwise, let me know if you have any questions. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.